Isekai.
Rebirth of the Malicious Empress of Military Lineage, Chapter 112, Request for Commander. What did that mean? Shin Miao questioned. Zi Jingxing would not say such words for no reason, so there was another meaning behind those words. Zi Jingxing's eyebrows raised as he looked at her. Shen Yuan was Prince Ding's people. Shen Miao's heart was slightly surprised, but she did not speak. Not possible. Shen Miao cried out involuntarily. Zi Jingxing's gaze was fixed on her as if it was looking through Shen Miao as he asked, "Why?" Shen Miao's palm got slightly wet and her heart was in a moment of chaos. The real start of the Shen family's misfortune was not within these 2 years. The imperial family would also delay in dealing with the Shen family as there was no one to take over at the moment. Shen Yuan worked for Prince Ding and both of them were people who were very cautious and would not take action if they were not very confident. Just like in the last lifetime, it was only at the end she then knew that the second and third households had a part in it, and Shen Yuan definitely brought out the evidence of rebellion at the end. But what with the timing now? It was far too early from when the imperial family would want to deal with Shenzhen. So why did Shen Yuan choose to take action at this timing? Currently the evidence would not be complete, so why Fu Ziyu choose to take action now? How could it have changed to this? Her expressions kept changing, and when she looked up, she met with Zi Jingxing's thoughtful gaze. Shen Miao's heart quivered. Zi Jingxing has a nimble mind, and one fear that he was able to sense something out from her expressions. Thinking of this, she masked a laugh. Shen Yuan was my second older brother. Why would he harm my father? Hearing that, Zi Jingxing actually laughed in a profound way and said, "Shen Miao, are you treating me as a fool? Since little Marquis tell me these things," Shen Miao said seriously, "then how would His Highness Prince Ding deal with my father?" Zi Jingxing shook his head. Shen Miao originally did not hold too much hope, as even if Zi Jingxing knew, there was no reason for him to tell her the truth. The Zi family was waiting in the game of Mingqi, and if they were to anyhow help one fear that trouble would come knocking. Even if she and Zi Jingxing's positions were to be exchanged, she would not even give a reminder. It is just that. Shen Miao looked at Zi Jingxing's official robes and asked, puzzled, "What are you doing in the palace?" She asked casually, but did not know that this made the confident Zi Jingxing pause. But it was only for a short moment before Zi Jingxing said lazily, "Enter to palace to request for commander." Request for commander? Shen Miao froze for a moment before asking unconsciously, "Request for commander for whom?" Zi Jingxing smiled but did not respond. Shen Miao suddenly looked at him. "You request for commander yourself? Northern Zhongzhongnu?" This time Zi Jingxing was surprised. "How did you know?" The matter of the Northern Zhong was a secret matter, and it was a top secret that before the imperial edict was issued, Shenzhen would not even know of it, much less Shen Miao. Zi Jingxing all the while was curious about how Shen Miao gets her information, and felt even more surprised that she knew about the matters in the palace. Shen Miao looked at him blinking, but there was a storm surging in her heart. The Northern Zhong territory was a place where the Zhongnu has never retreated. Even though the terrain was complicated at the Northern Zhong, these years Emperor Wenhua had been making a little noise and fighting little battles, unwilling to oppose headstrong. Afterwards the Zhongnu got worse, so Emperor Wenhua sent Zi Ding into battle. The Zi family's army was brave, but that entire army perished in the battlefield. On that year's end, Zi Ding's horse brought his corpse back, which made the entire country mourn. On the second year, when spring started, Zi Jingxing set off on an expedition on behalf of his father, and the troops were defeated like a landslide, and he had a tragic ending of having thousands of arrows piercing his heart, and he was skinned and hung up on the city tower. Zi Jingxing died when he was 22, and now he only just turned 19. In a swift moment Shen Miao's heart felt suffocated. It was not possible for the emperor to deal with the Zhongnu at this point of time, and it was Zi Jingxing who volunteered to the commander position. Zi Ding most probably did not know of this matter, and from the looks of Zi Jingxing, he should have gotten the news. Changed again. It was obviously matters that would happen in a few years' time, but they were pulled in ahead of schedule. For Zi Jingxing to go into battle now, Could his ending be the same as the last lifetime? As for the Z family, Shen Miao wanted to leave them be till later to confirm the imperial power. However, no matter how much she changed things, would there be people who will still follow the original fated path? Would the handsome youth with red lips and white teeth in front still walk to the most terrible step? Zi Jingxing saw the different expressions on Shen Miao and did not felt strange. His eyes flashed slightly as he said, "You seem to be very worried?" Shen Miao at the moment did not analyze the meaning behind these slightly ridiculous words, as her heart was somewhat in a chaos. She looked at him. "You will be leading the Z family army? Pay more attention to the Z family army internally, and also pay attention to the people by your side." Shen Miao paused every other word when she spoke. In the beginning she spoke heavily, but at the end, her expression gradually looked serious. "The sandy winds of the northern Zhang are large and the armors are heavy, but no matter what, one must not take off the heart protector. In the previous lifetime Zi Jingxing's heart was pierced by thousands of arrows, so perhaps it might be better that he always wear the heart protector." The most important thing was that Shen Miao felt that Zi Jingxing's death was overly strange, as how would an outstanding vice-general who had unsurpassed military tactics be defeated so miserably? Moreover, after gradually understanding the overall picture and knowing that the imperial family attacked the old aristocratic vassal families, the presence of the imperial family's people in the Z family army. Moreover, the tragedy of the Z father and son might have some conspiracy to it. Shen Miao wholeheartedly thought about the overall situation but did not realize that with the current relationship between Zi Jingxing and her, since it had not reached to the level of friendship, this kind of concern words were somewhat surprising. Zi Jingxing was also surprised at her, and a smile suddenly formed on his lips as he approached Shen Miao and slightly lowered his head. He was very close to Shen Miao as his pair of peach-shaped eyes was filled with laughter as he said jokingly, "So, concern of me?" Shen Miao was absorbed with her own thoughts and did not realize that he had gotten so close. Before she even recovered back to her senses upon realization, she was dazed for a while. Every time when she was at a loss she would look pitiful. Zi Jingxing slightly paused and a kind of helpless feeling appeared in his heart. He was originally ruthless and only felt that the Shen family was a chess piece on the board. He knew clearly that Shen Miao had deep thoughts and her actions were mysterious, and was definitely not a harmless unmarried female like she appeared on the surface. But there were times when he felt that she was just a little girl who knew nothing, and felt that it was a blushing matter to bully a little girl. This sudden thought was quickly thrown to the back of his head as Zi Jingxing stepped back a little. The influence of the Shen family army is too strong and it is not a good thing. Shen Miao replied, "Today it is my mother who entered the palace, and the ones who summoned for her are Consort Zhu Qian and Consort Dong Shu." When she spoke of Consort Zhu Qian and Consort Dong Shu, her expression was not respectful, as if she was speaking about two ordinary people. Zi Jingxing was also used to it. He said, "Retreat." "Retreat?" Shen Miao asked. Zi Jingxing no longer speak. At the end he still gave Shen Miao a little prompt. If Shen Miao was intelligent, she would understand what he meant. Shen Miao's eyes drooped and she thought for a moment before speaking. "Many thanks." Zi Jingxing waved his hands lazily as he thought of something. Shen Miao asked again, "The request for commander, when is the set-off date?" 10 days later. "So fast?" Shen Miao exclaimed. "Why?" Zi Jingxing looked at her from the side and said with laugh, "Cannot bear?" "Not so." Shen Miao said deadpan, "As such, then one will wish little Marquis to win a victory on raising the flag and return triumphant. When one return and get bestowed with rewards," Zi Jingxing said without a care, "one will gift you with some small toy, for a good omen." Just as Shen Miao was about to speak, she however saw Zi Jingxing press her waist down and said, "Someone is coming." After which he smiled at Shen Miao, "Hope to see you again, Shen." "Jiao Jiao." With a turn he flew away from the window of the dwelling area. This person used the windows like it was walking through his own residence door. Shen Miao was still startled when the doors were pushed open and Tong Yao entered. Seeing that Shen Miao was standing in the middle of the room, she asked curiously, "Why is young lady Shen not sitting?" Shen Miao recovered to her senses and smiled before walking to the side to sit. But in her heart, she was thinking of what Zi Jingxing had said. Zi Jingxing did request for commander and was to set off in 10 days' time. In 10 days, was not it exactly the same as 3 years later? In 3 years, it was also at this time that Zi Jingxing set off for the expedition, and afterwards the Zi father and son were forever recorded in the Mingqi history books. The Zi family has headed towards the inevitable ending like the last lifetime. How about the Shen family? How would the Shen family be? Zi Jingxing gave her a prompt before leaving, but that was not the outcome she wanted to see. To retreat like this, although lives would be saved, but this was just a life-saving method. Without power to protect, days of peace will become a luxury. The road of the previous lifetime made Shen Miao understand this point. Only by standing in a position higher than the enemy can one really control fate. However, Zi Jingxing method strongly defends one's position but did not have enough offense. What methods can be used to break out of this difficult situation? In the next shishans, 1 shishan equals 2 hours. Shen Miao kept on thinking about this problem. She did not touch any of the snacks on the table and did not take even a sip of tea, much less look at any of the novels. That provoked the female official Tong Yao to look at her frequently, and wonder how was it possible for her to sit the entire afternoon with such maturity, that even all the good-tempered concubines would not have such patience. One did not know how long one had waited till an eunuch came to invite them out. The female official Tong Yao then brought Shen Miao out as Luo Zuyan was at the doors waiting for her. Upon seeing Shen Miao, she forced a smile out and pulled her out of the palace and headed back to the residence. Even though Luo Zuyang did her best to show as if nothing had happened, what kind of person Shen Miao was, she could already observe others' words and gestures long in the inner palace and saw the worries in Luo Zuyan's heart. She said, "Mother, what did they spoke to you about?" Luo Zuyan smiled, "Nothing really. Just some matters about Zhaochun city lifestyle. Most likely because one had not been to the northwestern region and wanted to know about it." Shen Miao asked, "Really, only this? If so, then it is really too strange to deliberately call mother to the palace to talk for that long." Luo Zuyan stroked Shen Miao's head. "What is so strange about it? The ladies in the palace cannot move around and most likely the days are passed boringly. Mother talked to them about outside matters to chase boredom away so they will be a little happy." Even after saying that, Luo Zuyan could not help but be somewhat worried. Even though she was not involved in matters of the court, but it did not mean that she knew nothing about the dangers in there. Today she was meticulous and cautious. And it was precisely because the two consorts talked about the lifestyle which made her puzzled. There were no fools in the palace and everyone was very smart. But today's conversation did not touch on military matters, and even the Shen family army was not mentioned. Instead, the conversation was about the commoners in Zhaochun city, which made Luo Zuyan puzzled. People who were in battle had an intuitive sense of danger. She obviously felt danger approaching but did not know where was the problem, and that made Luo Zuyan fretful. But she was afraid of scaring Shen Miao and did not intend to tell Shen Miao these things. Shen Miao did not ask her again, and when they returned to the residence, the skies were nearing evening. Shen Kaiyu and Shen Xin had been waiting at the residence's doors, and only sighed in relief upon seeing both of their return. After finishing dinner, Luo Zuyan instructed Shen Miao to rest early and pulled Shen Kaiyu and Shen Xin back to the room to discuss about the matter of entering the palace. Shen Miao did not follow as she had learned a lot of things from Luo Zuyan. But the thing that she did not understand was what was it that Shen Yuan gave to Fu Ziyu. The oil lamp brightly shone into one's eyes, as Shen Miao sat in front of the table pondering while Jings and Guyu were careful not to disturb. A light drizzle started falling outside the window. This was the first drizzle since the end of the year and it signified that spring was coming. The beginning of spring will be here and everything would recover. It was clearly the beginning of a new how. But how to create a route among the heavy snow that allows the willow trees to provide shade and flowers to show the light? Shen Miao closed her eyes. At that night, there was someone walking with Tai Yi. When Zi Jingxing walked past the courtyard, He happened to meet with Zi Changwu and Zi Changzhou. Both of them saw him and immediately stopped and saluted him respectfully. Eldest brother. Towards these two people, Zi Jingxing always turned a blind eye to them, and it was the same today. Just as he was about to leave, he was stopped by Zi Changzhou, which spoke with some complacent, "Have not seen eldest brother for a long time and do not know what eldest brother is busy with. During the hunt a few days ago, one wanted to go with eldest brother, but it was father that let us follow the Liu Fu Daren's banquet. Thus one regret for not going." These days Zi Ding had been bringing Zi Changwu and Zi Changzhou to many banquets of fellow official colleagues, and everyone knew that Zi Ding wanted to bring his two sons into officialdom. Speaking of which, Zi Changwu and Zi Changzhou were Shu's sons, thus their qualifications were not as good as Zi Jingxing. If it was not that Zi Jingxing remained frivolous and refused to enter officialdom, everyone knew that it would not be their turn. But because of Princess Yu Qing, Zi Jingxing has been in disagreement with Zi Ding for many years. If the father and son relationship was like ice, how could it be repaired? Zi Changwu was more modest than Zi Changzhou, but even so, his eyes could not conceal the contentment. Eldest brother can also come along. With eldest brother's virtues, with both the pen and the sword, it would open the eyes of all the Darans and it would be much easier to enter officialdom. Zi Changzhou and Zi Changwu had long understood Zi Jingxing's temperament and knew how haughty he was. The more they said such things, the more it was not possible for him to enter officialdom. It was not possible to exceed Zi Jingxing in terms of winning Zi Ding's favor, but civil officials cared more about appearance. Thus, even if one was far from Zi Jingxing, one can easily push Zi Jingxing down and naturally could not help but wag one's tail up high. Zi Jingxing heard him and smirked as he looked at them before suddenly questioned, "Very pleased with oneself?" Zi Changzhou and Zi Changwu were surprised for a moment, but Zi Jingxing had already left. The glare of contempt, however, landed in both of their eyes. Watching Zi Jingxing faraway figure, Zi Changzhou hatefully said, "What kind of thing this is? Who does he think he is?" Zi Changwu expression was sinister. "There will be a day where I will step on him." When Zi Jingxing returned to the room, there were two people waiting in it. One was a middle-aged man with a bearded face, and the other was a young one with straight eyebrows. That middle-aged bearded man asked, "Master, you really want?" Zi Jingxing sat down in front of the table and waved his hands. Zi Changzhou and Zi Changwu. The slightly younger one said, "Why not?" Speaking till the end, there was a murderous look. "No need. It would only complicate things if actions are taken now." Zi Jingxing interrupted his words, "Without me, Zi Changzhou and Zi Changwu would not do anything to Zi Ding. As for Madame Feng," he sneered, "leave it be." Both of them bowed and complied. Zi Jingxing brought a memorandum from his sleeves, and that was the copy with the request for commander from today's morning from His Majesty. At the end he still have to take this step. The first ray of sunlight shone through the carved window and onto the table. Shin Miao was sitting at the table without moving. Jings carried a silver basin in and jumped in shock as she entered. "Why is young lady up this early today?" Shen Miao did not speak as Jings walked over. The oil lamp on the desk was exhausted, and on Shen Miao's fair and clean face, there was a slight darkness under her eyes. Jings was stunned for a moment and exclaimed, "Could it be that young lady did not sleep the entire night?" Shen Miao shook her head and pressed her forehead tiredly. She had been sitting here the entire night. Zi Jingxing's prompt made her feel more puzzled. She did not know what Shan Yuan had given to Fu Ziyu Yi, but knew that it was something that was disadvantageous to the Shen family, and that retreat word was the route that she did not want the Shen family to embark. Thus, how to be rid of this dilemma? Jing said, "No matter how worried young lady is, one must not torture one's body like this. Master and Furin will be in anguish if they saw this, so young lady better eat something before resting." Young lady's features looked not good. If young lady is the first one to collapse, then what can be done? At this time Shen Miao felt somewhat empty in her tummy. She had been thinking for the entire night and was a little dizzy, so she said, pour some porridge. I will sleep for a while after eating. Do not mention this matter to others." Jings complied and walked briskly out to the kitchens to bring Shen Miao's meal over. Shen Miao stood up as she wanted to wash her face with the warm water. She was only done halfway when she heard footsteps outside as Jings ran back in. "How come so fast?" Shen Miao was somewhat surprised. There was a distance between the little kitchen to hear that even if Jings ran there, one would still have to wait for a few more moments. "Young lady, it is not good." Jings was in some panic as she spoke. Someone from the palace came and summoned Master Furin and young master to enter the palace immediately. The handkerchief in Shen Miao's hands fell into the basin. She settled her state of mind and said, "I will go and look." In the courtyard, the eunuch who came from the palace had repeated Emperor Wenhua's words, and was currently speaking to Shenzhen. These people would often be polite when meeting the formidable great general, but today their attitude was not clear. Sometimes one was able to tell the master's attitude through the messenger, and obviously this trip to the palace was not a good thing at all. When Shen Miao came out, there was not only Shenzhen, Luo Zuyan and Shen Qiu in the courtyard, but the other households were also present. Even old Shen Furin brought Shen Yuanbo out. Seeing such a scene, old Shen Furin did not show any concern but looked on coldly, fearing that it would invite trouble for herself, so she gave an appearance of avoidance. It was Xin Wan who said to the eunuch, "One dare to ask what the matter is for His Majesty to summon eldest brother to the palace?" That eunuch gaze was up in the skies. "This one is acting accordingly to His Majesty's words, and this one do not know what is His Majesty's intention. Darin, it is better to quickly follow this one into the palace." He urged Shenzhen to quickly leave. When Shen Qiu saw Shen Miao walking over, he was somewhat anxious and quickly pulled Shen Miao over and said, "Younger sister, why did you come over?" Seeing Shen Miao looking over, he quickly comforted her. "Younger sister, rest assured, His Majesty is only summoning us to the palace to discuss about military matters, and we will return quickly. Upon returning, eldest brother will bring you to eat candied fruit." He was afraid of scaring Shen Miao but did not know that in Shen Miao's eyes, this kind of scenario was even more suspicious. To summon Shenzhen, Luo Zuyan and even Shen Qiu into the palace, and even though she was not brought along, people would know that the people going were leading figures of the Shen family army, so the matter was related to the Shen family army. Now that the Shen family's military power was a hot potato, everything must be done very carefully when military power was involved. At this time, if Shen Miao were to show fear, then it would only not help, but would let Luo Zuyan and the rest feel more burden. Thus Shen Miao smiled. "Really? Eldest brother must be true to one's word." Seeing Shen Miao as such, Shen Qiu was then relieved. Shen Qiu knew that Shen Miao was smart, but did not want Shen Miao to be involved in matters of the court. Moreover, the matter of the courts were never worth one person, and would often involve numerous casualties. Thus how could it be that clear? Luo Zuyan and Shenzhen also comforted Shen Miao. "Zhao Zhao, stay in the residence and do not go anywhere. When father and mother return, we will bring Zhao Zhao out to make new clothes for spring." Shen Miao also complied and watched as that eunuch left with Shenzhen and entourage. Chen Rikayu pulled Shen Wan's hands and said worriedly, "Why suddenly summon eldest brother and eldest Cao into the palace? Is it that something happened?" Shen Wan shook his head and Shen Gui said, "Eldest brother's limelight is too bright and unable to conduct himself with others in court. One fear that if a mishap happens, there would not be anyone who will speak for him." These words were loaded with meanings. Shen Gui meant that if Shenzhen really got into trouble, Shen Gui and Shen Wan would not be sending charcoal in the snowy weather. Shen Miao laughed coldly in her herd. One could only hear Shen Yu speaking timidly. Then if eldest Bo got into a mishap, it should be a big thing to take them all away. Will it implicate us all? How would it implicate you? Shen Gui smiled. If this implicate you, then the one who will bear the brunt of it is little five. Shen Gui's words were malicious. After his son's funeral, Shen Gui's career was not smooth, and he originally envied that Shenzhen's rank was higher than him, and had more prestige than him. Now seeing Shenzhen in misfortune, Naturally he was overjoyed and even hoped that Shenzhen would be overturned with this case, and would not appear in front of him. A flash of rejoice in others' misfortune appeared in Shen Yu's eyes as she looked sympathetically at Shen Miao. Would not fifth younger sister be very pitiful? Shen Miao did not get angry but smiled instead as she spoke lightly. The servants in the palace do not know the intention of His Majesty, but it seems that both Shushus are able to completely see through His Majesty's mind. She looked at Shen Gui. Second Shu have such incredible foresight that if the matter is spread to His Majesty's ears, His Majesty would appreciate Second Shu's ability to understand others' views. There are not many officials that have such connected thoughts. It can be comparable to Wei Daren of the previous dynasty. When the words were spoken, Shen Wan's and Shen Gui's face slightly discolored. What was the most taboo thing of an emperor? It was the nonsense speculation from the officials of the emperor's intention. Shen Miao's words would be pushing that Shen Gui and Shen Wan could see clearly Emperor Wenhua's mind. And what kind of intention was this? She even insinuated the previous dynasty's Wei Daren. Wei Daren of the previous dynasty was the confidant of the emperor, and with just a look from the emperor, he was able to know what the emperor wanted to do. When that emperor's position was not stable, he would jointly control many objecting ministers with Wei Daren, but at the end when the emperor had a strong grip on power, Wei Daren was bestowed a death sentence. Not one monarch would like to have their thoughts be understood clearly by officials. If one were to understand clearly, then there would not be any revering, and without that, perhaps there would be a day when the knife would be on their throat. This is the imperial family and they are the most suspicious. Just one sentence could determine life and death. Shen Miao's sentence made Shen Gui's and Shen Wan's faces change color, and they dared not even refute with an excuse, for fear that if these words were spread and heard by Emperor Wenhua, they would not know how big a trouble they would be bringing to themselves. Both of them were secretly scared, as they did not know where did Shen Miao learn such a skill to be able to hang such a big hat on to someone, with just a sentence. In the past such exaggerated words were usually my Furen's means. At this moment Shen Miao was overtly anxious by Shen Gui's words, and did not want to verbally spar with them here. The most urgent task on hand was to think of a solution to solve the matter. Old Shen Furen had watched enough show, and was not willing to see her son be at a disadvantage, and coldly scoffed, "Only give the Shen family trouble." She kept thinking about the matter of Shenzhen wanting to separate from the family, but now with this matter, the separation would be postponed. Old Shen Furen was thinking that even if Shenzhen fell into misfortune and only the first household was implicated, did it meant that the assets of the first household will fall into her hands? Thinking of them, a look of greed appeared on her face. Shen Miao's heart was extremely disgusted. This entire house of people were putting on a performance of throwing stones at one who fell down a well. In all the despicable people in the world, the Shen family would definitely be in the top ranks. Wan Yinayang was pulling Shen Dongling's hand and hiding at the back, not daring to say anything at such a situation. Even though Ren Wan Yun was awake, she did not come out of Kaiyunyu and thus did not appear today. Shen Dongling said softly, "But how would eldest Bo fall into any mishap? Eldest Bo is not in the Ding capital all year, so could it be because he had won the war previously, and there are additional rewards?" Shen Dongling's words were to ease the situation, thus Shen Yu was not happy with her words. Old Shen Furen also displayed some unhappiness, and only Shen Miao was slightly surprised. Not in the Ding capital all year round? Yes, Shenzhen and wife and also Shen Kaiyu were fighting in the bitter winter in the northwestern region all year round, and just returned to the Ding capital, so it was not possible that the criminal charge would be at the Ding capital. Moreover, yesterday consort Zhu Xian and consort Dong Shu were all asking about living in Zhaochun City. Why would one ask about Zhaochun City lifestyle without a good cause? Shen Miao would not believe that those delicate females in the palace were interested in the remote northwestern region. There must be some relation. If it was not in the Ding capital, then what were the charges?